Music legend Tsepo Tshola, who sang about peace, love and resilience, died due to COVID-19 complications this week after burying his sister. Now, Tshola, who was 67, passed away on Thursday morning in his home country of Lesotho, and he'll be remembered as one of the talented artists who left an indelible mark on the music industry with his gift of distinctive and his deep voice. Now, as news of Tsepo Tshola's death emerged, South Africa was staring at the results of nearly a week of unrest and disorder. Those mourning his death invoked his song "Stop the War" as a message worth remembering. His righteous preaching earned him the name of the village pope, but it was also a family legacy. Now, joining us to pay tribute to the veteran is musical director and composer Caiphus Semenya. When and where did we first meet? Dr. Semenya, a very good morning to you. Just talk to me about where and where did you first meet Dr. Tsepo Tshola?
I met Tsepo. Good morning. Let me say good morning to your listeners and good morning to you too. The question, where did I meet Tsepo? I met Tsepo Botswana. I think it was like in the early 80s. And he was living there with some of the guys from South Africa who were in exile in Botswana. So he came to me and he introduced himself. I think we were at the hotel, the only hotel that was in Gaborone. Caribbean Princess, but anyway, President Hotel, yeah. And we talked, and he told me he was a singer. He came from Lesotho, and of course he was working with Jonas Gwangwa. Jonas Gwangwa was also there, and Hugh Masekela was also there. And he had a group, Tsepo, with this other guy, such a long time ago. And that's when I first met him. And when I met him, he was aware of who I was. I wasn't, because some of the stuff that we were sending home, our records, were known. And he was one of the people who said he was our a fan, and so on. And we formed a friendship. He was much younger than me, but became like a little brother to me, because I spent about a couple of weeks in Botswana, and I used to go to Moadulanding and Mobarihesangting, Libo Hugh, and so on. And I was really impressed again. And one of the things that really made me even more interested in him, because most musicians, kabarati, choral music, but Tsepo loved choral music, because I spoke, which I do myself. I spoke to him, I was asking him if he knew any of the works of Mohapela the composer. And he was so delighted that he had met somebody who knew the song Samo Hapela. And I mean, I couldn't stop him telling me about the different songs. Going to Obe, he loved Obe. And then so many songs that Mohapela wrote. And Tsepo, I found a bedfellow. A person who loved only not what we do or the pop music that we sing, but also that to me, which is like sacred music, choral music. And of course, our friendship grew over the years since that time I met him.
I mean, you mentioned, Dr. Semenya, the fact that, he was like a younger brother to you. But also, Dr. Tsepo Tshola was a very passionate man. Can you just talk to me about, some of the things that you would have taken away from him, even though he was your junior?
Yeah. Well, he was well versed, in Sesotho culture, which is also part of my culture, because a lot of my education, the junior, I've got it from standard 2, until JC. I studied Sesotho, but I found so many But I found really what in Sesotho, it's very similar to Sepedi. And that culture, that thing, like I read books like History of Lesotho, which is printed go Maria go Lesotho. I read it, Peter Tsepo Tshola Fekesi. I read I read so many books. So Tsepo was well versed in this culture that but he lived it. And then every time we spoke, you know, he would be correcting me here and explaining, you know, the Sesotho culture. And I'm such a person too. I'm very much interested in Sesotho and history. You know, all that stuff. Tsepo, I could get from Tsepo. And if I wanted a lyric, somewhere, I could just ask Tsepo and he will tell it to me.
And I mean, I know that whenever musicians meet and it's something that, you know, it's not a passion, but it's your life, there's a lot of musical things that happen. And I'm sure you and Dada Tsepo Tshola have sang a couple of songs together that we might not even be aware of, whether it's on the fly. Can you, if you don't mind, just give us a short rendition of maybe a song that you guys really enjoyed singing together and that you shared?
Well, Tsepo was also deeply religious, you know, because he told me that his father was a priest, so he was very deeply religious. So am I, in a way, but not like other people, because my mother was also, you know, a very spiritual person. So I found a symbiotic relationship with Tsepo. And one of the songs that we used to love, you know, okay, because the way I had lady approach Sitonki, if you know Sitonki, because my church 10 Alexandra Township Donki, and that song is Kidumete Humurena Kebuneile Piluyaka Ratola Kudisa Tsepo Yaka Yakudisa. And Tsepo would love that. And we actually performed it one time, going to go Carnival City.
Yeah.
And the people just loved our voices.
Dada Semenya, that's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for taking time out of your morning to pay homage to such a legend by all means and all rights of the word. And that was another legend, the veteran musical director as well as composer, Dada Caiphus Semenya.